So imagine this. A veterinarian brings home a new cat, and his very first thought isn't, how do I treat this cat if it gets sick, but how do I make sure it never gets sick in the first place? He built a whole health plan around getting ahead of problems, and that's what we're going to break down.
And that quote right there, that's the whole philosophy. It's not about waiting around to react to a disease. It's about building such a rock-solid foundation of health that those problems never even get a chance to start. It completely flips the script from treatment to prevention.
So yeah, this isn't just some list of medicines for a cat that's already feeling unwell. Think of this as a blueprint, a vet's personal plan to stop the most common cat health issues before they can even begin. And the entire foundation for this plan, it rests on one single thing.
That's it, diet. The core argument here is that the food we put in our cat's bowl, day in and day out, is the most powerful tool we have for their health. It's the hidden cause of so many chronic illnesses, but it's also our best weapon for preventing them.
Okay, so let's start with the big stuff. We're going to connect the dots here between what's in that food bowl and some of the most serious and, unfortunately, most common diseases that affect our cats.
This slide really lays it all out. The problem, according to this vet, is dry kibble. I mean, look at the left column. It's incredibly low in moisture, which means a cat's kidneys have to work overtime just to stay hydrated. It's often high in phosphorus, which is another huge strain on the kidneys. And then you've got all these carbohydrates that cats, as true carnivores, were never built to digest. It's just a recipe for chronic stress on their entire body. The ideal, on the right, is the total opposite: wet, high-protein food that actually works with their biology, not against it.
And this is why prevention is just so critical. With chronic kidney disease, which is a top killer of older cats, you often don't see any symptoms until it's way too late. By the time you get that diagnosis from the vet, up to 3/4 of their kidney function could already be gone for good. That number is just staggering.
And it's not just the kidneys. It's like a domino effect. That same high-carb, low-moisture diet is tied to a whole list of problems. You've got diabetes from all the carbs, obesity for the same reason, painful urinary tract diseases because chronic dehydration lets crystals form, even a life-threatening condition called fatty liver disease. And it all starts in the food bowl.
Okay, so it's pretty clear that getting the diet right is a game changer for preventing those huge, scary diseases. But what about the little things? You know, the more common, nagging issues that so many of us deal with, like stinky breath, or hairballs, or an upset stomach now and then.
Let's move on, because this same preventative mindset applies to all those everyday complaints too. And there are some really simple, natural fixes you can use right at home.
Dental disease in cats is incredibly common, but let's be honest, trying to brush a cat's teeth is, well, it's a battle. So this vet's plan is a 3-step approach that doesn't involve a toothbrush at all. Step 1, a special seaweed supplement that actually works from the inside out to kill bad bacteria in the mouth. Step 2, sprinkle a good multi-strain probiotic on their food. This helps rebalance the good bacteria in their mouth, getting rid of bad breath at the source. And step 3, use a textured licky mat for their food. It actually helps scrape their tongue clean every time they eat. Pretty clever, right?
And for those tummy troubles, well, a proper diet is always step 1, but you can also add some targeted support. If hairballs are an issue, a little bit of ground flaxseed can add the fiber they need to move things along. For general nausea or diarrhea, an herb called slippery elm is fantastic. It gently soothes the whole digestive tract. And again, probiotics are your friend here, helping to restore that healthy gut flora for the long haul.
All right, so we've covered internal health, from the big organs right down to their gut. But our cats are also facing threats from the outside world, parasites, viruses, all sorts of environmental stuff. How do we help them fight that off?
And that brings us to the next layer of this plan. Basically, building up their body's natural armor so they can fight off those outside invaders and lower the risk of other major diseases. So instead of jumping straight to harsh chemicals for parasites, this plan offers a natural defense. For fleas, you can use food-grade diatomaceous earth. It's this fine powder that basically dehydrates fleas on contact. For internal parasites like worms, ground-up pumpkin seeds are a great natural dewormer. And for a general repellent, catnip oil spray is one of the very few essential oils that's actually safe and effective for cats.
A lot of cats suffer from chronic sniffles and sneezes, often caused by the feline herpes virus. For a sudden flare-up, the vet's notes suggest a little honey or propolis, which are naturally antiviral. But for long-term management, the amino acid L-lysine is the key. You have to give it for at least 12 weeks, but it can really help suppress the virus.
And finally, we have to talk about cancer.
Now, there's no magic pill, but this approach focuses on lowering the risk. First, working with your vet to minimize vaccines, since some cancers are linked to injection sites. Second, just lowering their overall toxic load by avoiding chemical parasite products whenever possible. And third, actively boosting their immune system with a supplement like colostrum, which is packed with immune-supporting nutrients.
I know we have covered a ton of ground here, from diet to dental care to parasites. It can feel like a lot, but the veterinarian in our source material really stresses that if you're feeling overwhelmed, this all boils down to one single, incredibly powerful action.
This is it. This is the big takeaway. The single most important, most impactful change you can make for your cat's health is to get rid of the dry kibble. Just get it out of the house. Replace it with a high-protein, high-moisture food. That one move addresses the root cause of almost every single problem we've talked about.
So that leaves us with this final question to think about. We tend to think of medicine as something we give our pets when they're already sick. But what if the most powerful medicine of all is what we give them every single day? It really reframes the simple act of feeding them, doesn't it? It turns their food ball from a potential health risk into their best and most powerful preventative tool.